Have you ever wondered why people lie or how your brain differentiates between truth and deception? Welcome to the intriguing world of deception, a complex and pervasive part of human interactions. Deception is not just a dark corner of human behavior, but an essential part of our everyday lives. Let's delve into this captivating world. Deception comes in many shapes and sizes, from the harmless white lies we tell to avoid hurting someone's feelings, to the more sinister, compulsive lying, where a person habitually spins tales and creates an alternate reality. Moreover, deception is not just confined to our interactions with others, it can also play a pivotal role in our relationships, where one might deceive a partner either to protect them or to conceal a truth. But why do we resort to deception? Some psychologists argue that it's an evolutionary trait. Our ancestors needed to be deceptive to survive, to outwit their predators or competitors. Today we may not be hiding from saber-toothed tigers, but we still use deception as a tool to navigate social situations, to gain an advantage or simply to avoid conflict. Fundamentally, our brains are wired to perceive truth. We naturally seek out genuine interactions and honest relationships. However, our brains are also sophisticated enough to identify deception, consciously or subconsciously. This innate ability to perceive truth and deception is a testament to the complexity and adaptability of the human brain. But that's not all. Our brains do not just passively receive information, they actively interpret and evaluate it. This means that when we encounter a lie, our brains are not just processing the words, but are also assessing the credibility of the information and the trustworthiness of the person delivering it. Intriguing, isn't it? But how does our brain process these deceptions, and what is the science behind it? As we delve deeper into this captivating world, we'll uncover the intricate workings of our brains, the fascinating psychology of deception, and the profound impact it has on our lives. So, are you ready to explore the enigmatic labyrinth of the human mind? Let's dive in. The human brain is a complex organ, and understanding deception involves delving into the depths of neuroscience. Let's break it down. When we deceive, three key areas of the brain come into play: the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, and the anterior cingulate cortex. The prefrontal cortex, located at the front of the brain, is where we process decision-making and social behavior. It's like the brain's command center, directing our actions based on what it thinks is best. When we decide to lie, it's the prefrontal cortex pulling the strings. Then we have the amygdala, known as the brain's emotional hub. It's deeply involved in our emotional responses, including fear and anxiety. When we lie, the amygdala can trigger feelings of unease or guilt. It's like an internal alarm bell, warning us about the potential consequences of our actions. Finally, there's the anterior cingulate cortex, which acts like the brain's error detection system. It monitors our actions and signals when something isn't quite right. In the context of deception, this part of the brain can alert us when our lies don't align with reality, prompting us to correct our course. What's fascinating is that these brain regions light up during functional MRI scans when a person is lying. It's like watching a fireworks display with different areas sparking into action as the brain constructs and delivers a lie. But here's the twist. While our brains are capable of detecting these physiological changes, interpreting them isn't always straightforward. A surge in activity doesn't necessarily mean someone is lying. It could also indicate stress, excitement, or a host of other emotions. In fact, even seasoned lie detectors struggle to identify deception with complete accuracy. This brings us to a mind-boggling question. If our brains have a built-in lie detector, can we truly trust it? It's a conundrum that continues to baffle scientists and laymen alike, reminding us that the brain, much like deception itself, is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. So, our brains have a built-in lie detector, but can we truly trust it? Now, how about the truth? How does our brain differentiate between lies and facts? Our brains are wired to perceive reality in a particular way. We have an inherent truth bias that nudges us to believe what we hear or see unless there are strong reasons not to. This bias is not a glitch, it's a feature, a survival mechanism that has evolved over millennia. Imagine for a moment our ancestors in the prehistoric world. They had to make quick decisions based on limited information. If they heard a rustling in the bushes, they had to decide instantly whether it was a threat or not. There was no time to ponder, to weigh the evidence. The brain's default setting was to believe the perceived threat and take action. This instinct to believe rather than doubt helped our ancestors survive and prosper. Fast forward to the modern world. The same truth bias is at play. our brain still leans towards accepting information as truthful. This is why fake news can spread like wildfire, or why we tend to believe a friend's gossip without questioning its validity. Our brain's default setting is still to accept rather than to question. However, this truth bias can be manipulated. Skilled deceivers can exploit this by presenting lies in a believable manner. They can make false claims seem credible and misrepresentations appear genuine. This is why we can be fooled by scams, hoaxes, and misinformation. The truth bias is not foolproof. It does not guarantee that we will always believe the truth or always spot a lie. It is merely a tendency, a leaning towards acceptance. It can be overridden by skepticism, critical thinking, and evidence to the contrary. Yet despite its limitations and potential for manipulation, the truth bias remains a crucial part of our cognitive toolkit. It helps us navigate a complex world where not everything can be verified, where some degree of trust is necessary. Often our brains lean towards believing rather than doubting, but remember, this can also be a double-edged sword. Deception isn't just about lying, it can significantly impact our relationships and how we interact with others. Picture this. You're playing a game of chess. Your opponent makes a move, you counter it, and the game goes on. But what if you discovered your opponent was cheating, moving pieces when you're not looking? Suddenly, the game changes. It's no longer about strategy or skill, it's about betrayal. In the same vein, deception in our relationships can dramatically change the dynamics, creating an environment of doubt and suspicion. And just like in our chess analogy, the effects of this deception can ripple out, impacting not just the immediate relationship, but also our interactions with others. Trust, the cornerstone of any relationship, is built on the idea that the other person will be honest with us. But when deception enters the picture, that trust can quickly crumble. Repeated deception especially can erode the foundations of trust, making it difficult, if not impossible, to rebuild. This loss of trust can lead to feelings of betrayal, hurt, and anger, but it doesn't stop there. The psychological impact of deception can be significant. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder in some cases. The deceived person may start questioning their judgment, their self-worth, and their ability to trust others. This can, in turn, affect their future relationships, creating a cycle of mistrust and suspicion. Moreover, the person doing the deceiving is not immune to psychological effects either. The constant fear of being found out, the guilt associated with lying, and the strain of maintaining the deception can lead to stress and anxiety. Understanding the profound impact deception can have on relationships underscores the importance of honesty and transparency. It's not just about avoiding lies, it's about fostering an environment of trust, respect, and open communication. Remember, the effects of deception are far-reaching and often more profound than we realize. So, let's strive for honesty in our interactions because the cost of deception is simply too high. Deception, truth, and the human brain. It's a fascinating interplay, isn't it? We've journeyed through the intriguing world of deception and delved into the science that underpins it all. We've seen how our brains, those incredible organs, are constantly at work, processing information and trying to discern the truth from the falsehoods. We began by exploring the concept of deception, a phenomenon that's as old as humanity itself. Whether it's a white lie or a grand illusion, deception is woven into the very fabric of our society. The science behind it is equally fascinating, with research showing how our brains react to deceptive behavior, whether we're the deceivers or the deceived. We then delved into the brain's endeavor to perceive truth. This is no simple task. Our brains are constantly bombarded with information, and it's their job to sift through it all, determining what's true and what's not. This process is influenced by a variety of factors, including our past experiences, our biases, and our emotional states. The impact of deception on relationships was our next focus. Deception can erode trust and breed resentment, yet it's also an integral part of human interaction, with studies showing that we all lie to some degree. It's a delicate balance, and understanding this can help us navigate our relationships more effectively. So what's the takeaway from all this? Deception is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon. It's deeply rooted in our biology and our society. Understanding it can provide valuable insights not just into our own behavior, but also into the behavior of those around us. Next time you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to discern truth from deception, remember, your brain is working hard to help you navigate. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep questioning.